It's Sunday in South Carolina. Welcome to the Touchdowns podcast presented by Harrison Williamson, Cross Country Mortgage. I am Beck Dugas, joined by our behind the scenes guy, Ross, making his on camera debut. Thomas is swamped at the bar. Classes in Columbia have been canceled due to the weather. So all the students are out and about having a beer and some wings down at Touchdowns. So we get Ross on camera for this episode. And we're also joined by Alfred Ezman. He's a sports writer for the Loudoun County News and Herald in Tennessee, Knoxville area, and also works for World Baseball Network. We are previewing South Carolina baseball on this episode with Alfred. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Super excited. I feel like it's going to be a different looking year for the Gamecocks and can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, so Paul Mainieri's second season in charge. We went a disappointing 28-29 last year, including 6-24 in the SEC.
It was worse than disappointing.
Just a bad year, and we already are getting bad vibes with Jake McCoy out for the year, hurt his elbow in an exhibition game. Going into this season, we leaned heavily on the transfer portal to revamp our roster. Talk about some of the pieces we picked up in the transfer portal and what they can add to this team for 2026.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I think it's a good idea because I think for Paul Mainieri, that this was his, let me get people I want in here for this upcoming season, and let's see if we could steer the ship in the right direction. And they did get a lot, and a lot of them are going to play a ton. I guess I'll start with Reese Moore, who is transferring in from Iowa. Great batting average, above 300 last year, on base percentage near 440. He's going to be, I think, somewhere in the lineup in some way, shape, or form, maybe a bottom of the order person who's going to contribute a ton. And then pitching, man, with Jake McCoy out, there's going to be a ton of people in the portal making some impact there. Alex Philpott's going through some injury stuff. Expect an announcement, I would think, soon, like this week, on what's going on with that. He has some arm soreness that they're going to take a look at, but he comes in from Florida and was a pretty, go-to reliever for them out of the bullpen. It's a guy who I think can start for the Gamecocks this season. And then Josh Gregoire, I think it's Gregoire because of the French ending to that name, and he played at Louisiana Monroe, was a very good reliever for them, a 2.38 ERA, strikeout rate around 28%. I think he's a guy, if he doesn't start, he's going to be a very good go-to arm out of the bullpen for South Carolina. And then I guess the other starter I would look at is an in-state guy, Amp Phillips, coming in from South Carolina Upstate. Upstate was the team a year ago that went to the NCAA tournament, played in the Clemson regional up there, and Amp Phillips was a really big part of that. He was the Big South newcomer of the year, really good, 3.64 ERA and 84 innings of work, good amount of strikeouts as well. I think he's going to start, and he, at this rate, if Philpott's not 100% healthy come the start of the season, probably the Friday night guy to start the year for South Carolina. So that's just a few of them, but yeah, man, this is a transfer portal heavy team, one of the heavier transfer portal teams in the SEC. And I think after the year last year, though, it is needed from Paul Mainieri and the rest of his staff.
I think when you look at the numbers, you can see when you look at the stats from the kids that we got in the transfer portal, the numbers really jump off the page. Like from an offensive standpoint, like they might be unproven in like SEC play, but we got a kid, I think the JUCO player of the year in 2025 from College of Central Florida, Dawson Harmon. Mm-hmm. That kid raked last year. But a lot of guys coming up from smaller schools or JUCO schools, we're going to have to depend on those bats this year. I feel better about that than I do the pitching situation, just because even last year the pitching was just it wasn't what it needed to be. I mean,
right.
The bats weren't terrible last season, but they didn't help out as much as they should have. But pitching definitely worries me still going into 2026, especially with the McCoy injury.
Yeah, I think injury-wise, it's going to be tough to look at what they're exactly going to do, as far as their starting rotation and stuff like that. The hitting I'm actually excited for. I didn't get to preview these guys on Southeastern 16, but if I was there, and I'm previewing them with you guys now. The hitting last year, I feel like a lot of the load was Ethan Petrie and Nathan Hall, and those two guys now are gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, you needed a lot of these transfers in, and a lot of them are great. You mentioned Harmon. Harmon's going to start somewhere on the infield, or maybe the outfield if the infield's too crowded. But he's awesome, and then the returners as well. I don't know if we wanted to jump into them, but I'm excited for KJ Scobie and Bo Hollins once he gets fully back up to speed and healthy. Those two guys are probably the top two returners on this team lineup wise.
I was just going to say that. Yeah,
yeah,
they like far and away the only two dependable bats returning. Like, if we have a successful season, it's going to be because we knocked the transfer portal out of the park. It's not going to be because our homegrown guys are studs,
Yeah, talk about that a little bit more, Alfred. The returning guys, because we understand the portal class is loaded and is going to be make or break for us potentially. But some of these guys that are played on the team last year and coming back, speak to that a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, Scobie, I think as far as wanting to pick out a breakout guy, I think he's one who can. I know his numbers aren't really like jump off the page, whatever, all this stuff, but in the end, he is, a guy with a ton of experience. Like another one I'll mention and throw in here, Talmadge LaCroix. Again, Talmadge LaCroix is not someone whose numbers are crazy or anything like that. Not like a Cole Messina that South Carolina had a couple of years ago or anything, but he's someone who has a ton of experience in this program, understands what I think you guys understand, the historical significance that they do have and are looking to get back to. And that in and of itself is good. Yeah. And that in and of itself is going to help, these transfers a ton. So excited about those two. Bo Hollins as well, very good bat last year at a 300 batting average, on base percentage around 380, which is solid as well. Those are guys who are going to be the returners and know what the program's about and are going to be helping these transfer guys, which is super exciting. And pitching, there's not a ton. I guess there's not a ton of bats either. But if I had to pick one out, pitching returner, it has to be Parker Marlett. I would think, a 4.18 ERA, which in college baseball gets the job done for the most part. And I think he's going to be a solid option out of the bullpen again. Someone who, over the past few years with South Carolina has stepped up in a big way. Watched him at the SEC tournament a couple years ago, was great. So those are a few returners I like a lot. And again, all those guys going to have to help these transfers out and get them accustomed to the program heading into the year.
Are there any, I don't want to say under the radar because, we're not really talked about much nationally, but of the guys that our fans probably know the names of, is there any, I guess, underclassmen or under the radar transfers that you could see having a big impact on the team this season?
I actually didn't talk about this guy, and I think he'll start as a freshman, Riley Goodman. Riley Goodman was an all-state Tennessee high school pitcher, and during the fall, his velocity was upper 90s and like nicking 100. So yeah, he's gonna be sick, and if he doesn't start, I think he will. But if he doesn't start, he's gonna come out in relief in some way, and he's gonna be a stud. So keep an eye out on Riley Goodman. I think he's gonna be someone that fans at Founders Park are gonna absolutely love. And again, Ross, you mentioned worried about pitching. He's someone who can really ease it. As young as he is. So hopefully that's someone who I'd have to pick out as a under the radar guy no one talks about as much.
Yeah, it's crazy these kids are touching 100 almost as 18-year-olds. Like, it's just like, I feel like back in when I was growing up, it was like if you had a guy that could throw low to mid 90s, it was like a gem. And now like these guys, I guess just the evolution of the game and just kids these days can just crank it. But it's going to be really interesting to see. I think Gamecocks, because men's baseball is one of the three major sports you could say, and as Gamecocks we've experienced postseason success in this sport, unlike football and basketball. So there's a lot of people that are interested and love this team. We've gotten away from that though. When Ray Tanner retired, it really has been pretty average and mediocre when it comes to a baseball program. What is what do you see, as a floor for this team and a ceiling in 2026? Can Paul Maneri get the juice back in the baseball program like we had it in the past?
Well, I don't want you or anyone watching to throw up listening to this. I do think the floor is last year, pretty much. I mean, I do think that's the floor this team it can happen again, certainly, just because of the nature of SEC play and stuff. Ceiling though, I think it's as high as like right now. I'd just say make the NCAA tournament. If you get to a super regional again, I think that's a huge boost. That's something South Carolina. I don't think they've done that in quite some time. So doing that again,
we went to a super 2 seasons ago, I believe. Ethan Petrie's, I want to say his freshman year. I think we went to super. I don't know, but super, I would say, is like, if you talk to some South Carolina fans that have been watching baseball since they graduated in the 80s or 90s, they would say that every season it's super regional or bust. Like if we don't reach the super, then it's a failure. And
that's fine. Perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the super can be or getting to a super can be the ceiling if your regional works out okay. It's going to be tough to host though. I mean, the SEC has a lot of tough teams who are going to get those national seeds. And, I'm not even talking about the outside of SEC teams that could get it. UCLA, Oregon State, teams like that will get hosting spots as well. So that'll be tough. You're going to have to go on the road somewhere. And if it works out and you get an easier one than most, I think you can make a super and be happy. And Ross, you were right. Thank you for correcting me. 2023 was the last regional championship that they had. So they made a super regional 2 years ago. But getting back there would be exceptional, especially after the year they just had with Paul Maneri. And I guess schedule-wise, pointing stuff out, the one thing I'd point out with them toward the end of the year would be going on the road to Vanderbilt and going on the road to LSU, 2 of the last 3 SEC series of the season. So
yeah,
if it comes crunch time, it'll be some that'll be some troubling series to have.
It's funny you say that the last two away series that we have is crunch time. If you look at the like I was looking at the schedule earlier today, crunch time starts as soon as conference play kicks off because we play. I think we play 8 of the. I think
8 of the top 25.
Yeah, 8 of the top 20 of the top 25 plus UNC plus Clemson plus. I mean, the Citadel gave us a run for our money last season, and those weeknight games are always tricky. Wofford, I mean, they're solid at baseball too. It's just, it's going to be crunch time as soon as non-conference. Actually, it's crunch time as soon as game 1 against Clemson starts. Actually,
yeah. I mean, but that's the opportunity though for this team is the schedule is a gauntlet, but you're going to have opportunities to bolster your resume every single week. And I just feel like last year's team, we obviously struggled in SEC play. And if we can, I think if you can get to 500 in SEC play, you're a tournament team easy. And so having the opportunity week in, week out to say, okay, we just took 2 out of 3 on the road at LSU. I mean, those are the types of series that are going to help. The opportunities there if we can take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say piggyback, but like to add on to what Beck said, like our schedule has been a gauntlet for most of our lives. It's just 15 years ago we were the top dog, or LSU was the top dog, and we were the second dog. But now it feels like I don't know whether we have regressed or if everyone else has just caught up. It's just, the schedule, it is a gauntlet this season.
I definitely
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to say, just to answer Ross's question or comment, it's definitely everyone else has caught up, I think. Everyone else has caught up, and South Carolina sort of just been shuffled here or there or wherever. I mean, you look at being in Knoxville, Tennessee baseball's rise this decade has been like crazy. Vanderbilt kind of has, come up with Tim Corbin over the course of that time you were talking about. And then even recently adding Texas and Oklahoma, I guess wouldn't help South Carolina's case either. So I do think it's everyone in this league catching up. to everyone else, and it's made it fun and more competitive. But that's where South Carolina has kind of shuffled around the standings a bit more than they usually did.
Yeah, talk about, or just I'm curious to hear your opinion, Alfred, about how we've struggled since Ray Tanner left, and we went through Holbrook. I mean, he's doing a great job at Charleston, it seems like, and so maybe we pulled the trigger on firing him too quickly. We haven't been able to find the guy to lead this program, and it's so frustrating as a fan, because we're literally back-to-back national champions. We get to the championship series in 2012, and you would just think that we should build off that, and we should have remained at the top. Do you think it was just a bad move to hire Holbrook, or like talk about just the coaching carousel that we've kind of been through since? I mean, Ray Tanner was there for what, 20 years, 25 years. Talk about that a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. History wise with y'all. So, I mean, I think Holbrook and Kingston were both good coaches and had their good qualities in their own rights. I definitely think Kingston reached a boiling point of, it's the ship has sailed. It's your time to go. But even, the amount of time he was at South Carolina, I think he had his good qualities, and South Carolina had their good season. Same with Holbrook. It's just that they couldn't, reach the pinnacle of what Ray Tanner did. And it's tough. It's tough to find that guy. You don't find many of them like people would think. And I think the standard in this day and age of college baseball is Jay Johnson at LSU. You're not, it's very hard to find those guys. And I think, the Jay Johnson thing might also be a combo of LSU baseball, is where he's at. But at the same time, it's still very hard. And my justification for the Mainieri move was they wanted someone, or Ray Tanner, wanted someone older. And I know they're friends and they're buddies and all this stuff, wanted someone older with a ton of experience. And so they just gave him a call to get out of retirement. And that's where we're at. It's certainly not a long-term thing. Like, I don't know, even if Paul Mainieri makes it past this year, I don't know how long he'll be in Columbia. But to answer your question, Beck, I think you just haven't found someone who's matched what Ray Tanner did. You found good guys, and you gave them time. Holbrook had some time. Kingston had a lot of time. They just could never match, what Ray Tanner was able to accomplish. And it's just a tough spot to be in, because you don't find a lot of those guys. But, and going forward with Paul Mainieri, not a long-term thing, but, getting back to the tournament would be a great start to set this program in the right direction for years down the road.
Talk about a butterfly effect. Ray Tanner going to winning 2 straight World Series, going to 3 straight, retiring shortly thereafter, becoming the athletic director, making many questionable hires for many major jobs. It's just, can you imagine if he just hanged on for like 5 more years and never became athletic director? I mean,
yeah,
there'd be a lot of things could have gone differently if Ray Tanner was for the athletic.
Yeah,
director.
it's an interesting exercise, and you mentioned you don't think Mainieri is a long-term solution. I mean, I agree. He's older. I think he did get the job because he's buddies with Ray Tanner, and it's like, hey, you're experienced. You've won a national championship at LSU. Maybe you can be that bridge. Who could you potentially see? Do you know any, just for the listeners, just hot ideal candidates that could potentially in the next couple years come onto South Carolina's radar as Mainieri transitions out?
Yeah, certainly. I think one that would be good in-state wise is Matt Williams, Coastal's pitching coach. I think you look at Coastal pitching this past year, went toe-to-toe with LSU, in all honesty, with Jacob Morrison and Cam Flukie, and they have Hayden Johnson, who's going to fill up into a starting role this year and look exceptional. Their pitching is just crazy, and they got all the analytical stuff that these big programs do now at Coastal. And a lot of why they've been good has been Kevin Schnall, but Matt Williams has been his right-hand man the whole way. So that's a guy who I could definitely see.
Williams, I think Matt Williams was on staff with Kingston, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was.
So,
he had some experience there already.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That kid is a freak. He went to Sox High School. That's how I know about him. But he's really good. Yeah.
But I like Matt Williams a ton. That's a name that I would throw out there. There's Nolan Cain too, who's an assistant at Texas, who I think is next up for a head coaching spot as well. I like the idea of an assistant, ready to take on a major role. I get you could look outside of the SEC and that sort of thing. And, Matt Williams, I just said, is outside of the SEC, but he has the in-state thing with South Carolina, and he's super familiar. So those are the two I'd look at.
Well, I'll add a third. I think there is definitely a sect of fans online that even, I guess 2 years ago when we were searching for another baseball coach, Landon Powell at North Greenville, he's a Gamecock. So I think
another in-state one I like.
Yeah, in-state guy. Like you said, you were talking about Talmadge LaCroix, like how he's from the state, fifth-year guy. Like transfers are going to lean on him to know what's going on in South Carolina. He's that, to me, that's the kind of guy. Like, hey, this guy, he knows what we should be every year.
Mm-hmm. And didn't Landon Powell win a D2 national championship? Am I making that up? Didn't North Greenville
2022 Division II national championship?
Yeah,
he has more than 400 career wins. And again, it's D2, but it's like.
But that's the thing, though, is he's a Gamecock, so I think that would be a higher.
I agree.
It would excite the fans. I didn't know much. I'm glad you brought up Matt Williams, Alfred, because I didn't know much about him. I just Googled him real quick, and Coastal's pitching staff was excellent last year. So I think he looks like a younger guy, a guy that could grow into, and possibly be a long-term type of guy that hopefully if the program can elevate a little bit under Maneri, and then he can kind of take it and really run with it and lead us to years of success. But it's very interesting. Baseball is one of those sports as a Gamecock that we had success in, and so I know a lot of Gamecock fans out there love the baseball team, and it's just been very, very sad to see where the program's been. But I guess from we know the SEC's loaded. Can you see this team finishing in the top half of the conference, or is it going to be one of those where we have to watch our struggles again this year?
I personally think, going back to the ceiling and floor convo, ceiling wise, I said, get to a super regional, that sort of thing. I think that can happen even if you're in the middle of the standings or slightly below the middle, 8th place, or slightly below 8th place. You can do that at South Carolina. And it's not because I think they're going to be bad or, average by any respect. I mean, there's just so much firepower in the league with other teams. I mean, LSU, Texas, Arkansas, Auburn's going to be really good. I think Tennessee will be in the top half, even with Josh Elander being new and replacing Tony Vitello. There's just so many great teams who I think will finish ahead just because of how good they are. But South Carolina can definitely file into 8th or slightly below that, still make the tournament. You're still a tournament team if you do that. I think it'll be tough, is my answer to the question. It'll be tough for them to finish in the top half of the league, but can certainly still make the NCAA tournament.
I think it's a big boomer bust kind of season.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just assigning that, I guess, those assigning that title, just looking at it on paper, because I mean the transfer, again, on paper, the offensive transfers, we should be able to score runs this season. It's just a matter of not letting the other team score runs.
Yeah,
as stupid as that sounds.
Having Jake McCoy go down, let's pretend that didn't happen. What if Jake McCoy is a part of this pitching rotation? Does that give you would that have given you any more confidence to say, all right, this team is going to compete in the SEC and they're going to make the NCAA tournament? How truly big is Jake McCoy going down going to affect this team?
I think it gave me at least standings wise in the standings convo, it kind of told me, well, they might be in the middle or slightly below in the bottom half of the conference now. Because Jake McCoy was a Friday night starter who can stand out with other Friday night starters in the league. And there's going to be a ton of those guys this year that you see. I mean, Gabe Gackle at Arkansas is one. I think Zach Cowan or at LSU or Kason Evans, excuse me, at LSU is another one you're going to probably see as well. Jake McCoy is a guy who could go toe-to-toe for those guys on Friday night, which is massive in SEC play. Now you kind of have to find that again, 12 days before the season starts as we are doing this and talking. So it's a little tougher now. They could still find it. Like, I think Amp Phillips can give other pitchers a run for their money. He certainly wouldn't be like the biggest, Friday night starter in the conference. But I think you would have had a more solidified sense of confidence with it if you had Jake McCoy. Now you don't have that. So it's just another challenge. And that's what changes. The only thing, mindset wise, where they're going to end up this season that changed was conference standings wise. I still think they can make the NCAA tournament without him.
Maybe here's a different question for you. I think Clemson and South Carolina's baseball teams are two teams headed in completely different directions. One is still, I think Clemson's still ascending with Bakich. Like, I'm not a big fan of his, but I mean, he's a great coach. Like, if he was South Carolina's coach, I'd love him. I'll put it that way. Like, he's a great baseball coach. He just happens to coach for Clemson. What, I guess, what kind of expectations are you putting on Clemson what would you say Clemson's floor and ceiling is this year for baseball after two really good seasons to start the Bakich era?
Well, as frustrating as you and the rest of Gamecock fans might be, Clemson fans, I think, are also pretty frustrated. I have to be honest. I mean, they have been wanting to get to the College World Series since dinosaurs roamed the earth, practically. That's how long. That's how long that's how long it's
one of the only things we can still say to Clemson fans. They
right.
can't. They can never.
We beat their ass.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, exactly. And I think as frustrated as you guys are with Maneri and the year he just had, Clemson fans are frustrated in a different sense. They're like, we can't, win a super regional or get to one to save our lives even.
Yeah.
And so that's
two really, really good regular seasons in a row now.
They did.
They just can't capitalize. But
absolutely.
I mean, the Gamecock in me is, it's like, have you ever seen the meme where the guy's like holding the other guy close to the bubble or whatever, and then it zooms out and it's like, oh, like you're almost there.
Yeah.
I think Clemson is almost there to getting, like, they're going to make noise. They're always going to make noise with Bakich. It's just, when are they going to put it all together and go on a run, which is what I'm scared of.
And I think they are super competitive in the ACC. Like, they're a top 5 team in the ACC this year, and they'll be competitive in that sense. They could very well host again. I think it's the goal for them. And I talked to Eric Bakich in an interview this offseason. The goal for them now is just to get to Omaha. He said that's all they're not really even talking about it, but they know at this point. It's like, you guys know what to do. Let's just go about our business and finally get there. So they are very hungry for it. Their fans are hungry for it. I don't like my personal Omaha 8 heading into the season. I don't have them in it, but it's something they can definitely do. They have the bats. They have the depth in the batting lineup. Their depth with pitching maybe is a little more of a concern, just because outside of their starters, I don't know what they have in their bullpen that sticks out. But their starters are going to be awesome. Aiden Kanak, who I know gives Gamecock fans a headache, probably.
Yes.
With the way he pitches. And then Drew Titsworth is going to be good for them. Dane Moeller is a really good pitcher who was hurt last year, who's coming back for them. So that's going to be that's going to be a pretty competitive team in the national landscape. And I think their goal is to get to Omaha, and they can certainly accomplish it.
Yeah. I mean, what you just said kind of just drove my point home. Like, two teams heading in two different directions. Clemson, their mindset for the last 2 years, I guess their mindset in the Bakich era has been Omaha or bust. And I feel like that has not been our mindset in at least a decade. It's like
Hey,
at this point we're
hashtag
settling.
Omaha. Hashtag
Yeah, hashtag
Omaha.
Omaha.
Clemson ain't going. Who is your Omaha 8, Alfred?
Great question. If I had to do it now, it would be LSU getting back there. I think UCLA is going to get back there again. I'm sure y'all saw they were the number 1 team in the preseason rankings. They're disgusting. They have 8 people coming back from an Omaha team in their lineup a year ago, so that they're going to be gross. They're getting back there. I think Arkansas does again. I think Georgia is a sleeper team in the SEC who finally breaks through and gets there. Their transfer portal class, as good as South Carolina's is really stinking good too.
Does Georgia still have
Yeah, I saw Georgia had the number 1 transfer portal class, I think, from whatever publication. I can't
number
remember.
1 transfer portal class, and they bring back, oh man, I think D1 Baseball did or maybe MLB.com did a prospect ranking release the other day. I think Georgia had a kid in the top 3. I forget his name though.
That could be Alabama, Justin LeBron.
Nah,
that's Pipelines. That was what Pipeline said.
Oh, what was it? Keep talking. I'm
You're
listening.
good.
I'm listening.
You're good. So I'm at, where am I at? LSU, Arkansas, UCLA, Georgia. And then I think I'm gonna go Florida State out of the ACC. I think, they're a little bit ahead of where Clemson is as far as getting to the College World Series, and they want their national championship bad. It's 24, 25 times in Omaha without one. I mean, they want it bad. Yeah.
It's a nice tidbit. I did not know that.
So I think they're going to get there. I like Oregon State as well. I think their 1-2 punch of Ethan Kleinschmidt and Dax Whitney as starting pitchers is as good as any. Could compete with SEC teams. They're just not in the conference to do that. So I think they're going to get there. And then I kind of have Vanderbilt in there as a filler. Now, that's 5 SEC teams. And the problem I have is there's going to be like a Coastal Carolina or less than that mid-major that gets there. I don't really know who to pick out for that. I think Coastal is a good guess, and I would assume a lot of the people that watch and listen to your stuff know Coastal baseball, maybe a little bit if they follow baseball. They're going to be good again. I mean, their pitching is going to be exceptional, even with losing Jacob Morrison. They have some good returning bats like Dean Mijos coming back again as well. So they're going to be really good. If you want to pick out a mid-major, I'd go them. But yeah, those are my 8. And it's 5 SEC teams, which is a little unrealistic, but don't be shocked if there are 3 again, or even 4 again that are back in it.
Just open one of them.
I mean, it's just that alone tells you it's just tough skating when in the SEC. But that, like I mentioned earlier, that's the opportunity. We're going to be playing these good teams, and if we can get some wins, it's going to bolster our resume. Want to get you out on this one, Alfred. Just more of a fun question. What's your favorite ballpark in college baseball?
Well, since we're talking about you guys, I have to be. I'm not. It's not because I'm on here. It's not because I knew Ross before this. It's not because y'all have been great this time. Y'all have been great. It's not because of any of that. Founders Park is genuinely unreal. I encourage every college baseball fan to go to it. I went, and it was for like a midweek game against Georgia State. But like it was the point in the game where there was a sunset, behind it, and you could see the skyline and the palm trees out in like right field and all that stuff. And I was like, dang, this is nice. I mean, this is a really nice ballpark. And it's certainly up there for me. I'm trying to think of others I visited.
What's an under the radar one? One people maybe wouldn't think off the top of their head.
Under the radar one, I think Georgia's Foley Field is really cool. It's they have the feed the tree slogan.
It's a tight squeeze in there.
It is, yes, and they have Kudzu Hill out in right field where all the kids are sitting and drinking and all that stuff and watching the game. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. And I was in the press box in like my dress shirt and stuff, and I was looking out there. I'm like, that looks like a good time, to be out there doing all that. So that combined with the trees and the Feed the Trees slogan, I think it's a pretty underrated one. But Founders Park might be the best one in the country. I mean, when it's all said and done, I do think, you have the big trophy glass with the 2 national championship trophies right when you walk in, and you're just walking around, and it's gorgeously set up. The backdrop's amazing. It has all the makings of what baseball fans want. So I do think that's the best ballpark in college baseball.
I think I'd
Hell
have to,
yeah.
I think I'd have to agree with you.
By the way, one more time, not because I'm on here at all. It genuinely is not because I'm on here. It's because I thought it was exceptional when I visited.
Yeah. Get out to Founders Park, Gamecock fans.
Mhm.
I know this team was tough to support last year. Thank you so much, Alfred, for coming on and giving us some knowledge and expectations around this team. And again, I'll say it. I'll keep saying it. Baseball is the sport we've had the men's sport we've had the most success in as a university. I know that Gamecock fans love baseball, and it's so fun when we're good. So I'm rooting for success this season, and everyone get out to Founders Park, the #1 park in college baseball, per Alfred Ezman, and check out the Gamecocks this season. Alfred, we really appreciate you coming on and talking, man. I thank you so much because we needed the additional knowledge and perspective from the baseball side of things.
Yeah, Ross Beck, thank you so much for having me. I love this podcast. We'll be giving it a listen for all sports. And yeah, my final message, South Carolina fans, get out to Founders Park. It should be a better year and a more fun year for you guys. So looking forward to that. Thank you for having me on again.
Alfred, right before you leave, why don't you tell everyone where they can read all your stuff and follow you on Instagram and Twitter and all that?
Yeah, Twitter is just Alfred Ezman, just my name. Pretty simple. I post all my college baseball stuff on there. Loudoun County News Herald, that's like high school sports. Your fans wouldn't be interested in that just because it's East Tennessee high school sports. But the World Baseball Network stuff you would be interested in. Go over to worldbaseball.com. I handle everything college baseball content for them, whether it's social media posts on Instagram at worldbaseball_. So interviews on YouTube, just look up World Baseball Network on YouTube. Like I said, I interviewed Eric Bakich. I know not a fan favorite on this podcast, but around the country, definitely more of a fan favorite.
He's a good. I'll be partial for a second. He is a very good interview. He's fun to listen to. He's a fiery guy.
He is. And he loves banana ball, and we talked about that. I'm sure, Ross, you love banana ball as well when Clemson does it. So,
I do love when they do it because we can make fun of them for it. But yeah,
exactly. I had to talk to him about it, but we interviewed him. We interviewed a bunch of good players, around the country in the SEC and around the country in general. Mark Wasikowski, great head coach over at Oregon. Got to talk to him a little bit. And then just you can read stuff. Worldbaseball.com. I've done just, whether it's breaking news, just highlighting certain players, which is what I've done, ad nauseum this offseason. I feel like head over and read all about it. We'll have, we're going to have just, a schedule for the opening weekend tournaments and games soon this week. So be on the lookout for that stuff. So again, worldbaseball.com, World Baseball Network on YouTube, and at worldbaseball_ on Instagram. I handle everything college baseball content, and we just do other MLB content as well. So if you like baseball, go check it out.
Cool. Awesome, man. Yeah, y'all go check it out. Thank you so much, Alfred. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes, thank you guys.
Appreciate it, Alfred. See you later. Good stuff.
That was good stuff there from Alfred Ezman. Y'all heard all of his socials. Go give him a follow if you're a baseball fan.
We'll link it all in the show notes and everything, too, in case you guys want to see it there.
We go from hope and optimism to pain and doom. We now get the privilege to talk about South Carolina men's basketball. This is some Court Cox chatter presented by Cajun Cousins. Oh, this team, an OT loss yesterday to LSU at home. Funky game with the weather. The time got moved up, and
there were like 100 people in the stadium.
I was texting a buddy who went to the game. He said there was about 300 people there. So just the season's coming undone. I think we were actually texting about it the other day, Ross and Thomas and I. And Lamont's buyout is pretty high. And so this is going to be an intriguing situation because the team is clearly, it's very frustrating to go from a school record for wins in a
The
season.
best regular season ever. Yeah.
Yeah, and now we just can't even. I mean, we can't even compete. We didn't beat a Power Four team in non-conference this season. We're getting smoked in the SEC. We have a couple wins, but every time the 2 wins we've gotten in conference play, we've followed up with stinker performances. This is just, we're not a good team. We're not fun to watch. We're not necessarily particularly good at anything. It's a sad state for Gamecock basketball, men's basketball, where we are right now. So I don't know where we go from here because of the aforementioned buyout of Lamont. We don't have the investment. We don't have the juice, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Donati is going to put up with it for much longer. Like I think he's going to get fired.
Well, and just like just like in all it takes is a few powerful people to want change, and if we have some people that care enough about Gamecock men's basketball that want to step up and pony up the cash to have another guy come in, then that'll happen. But it's just going to be very interesting to see what happens. I mean, this team, we might win another game the rest of the season. I mean, LSU at home probably would have been the one I would have picked. It's not too brutal. But I mean, I don't see Texas, Missouri, Bama, Florida on the road. I think Mississippi State isn't too good of a team, so maybe we can get a win, but nothing that's gonna make you excited. I think this team is kind of they've lost the fan base, and it's been a pretty abysmal season, and we're going to have to see what happens in March after the SEC tournament and see if Donati's willing to pull the trigger, and if some of the powerful people are willing to step up and get this buyout done and move on from Lamont. So yeah,
I mean,
sad state for Gamecock basketball.
Donati's been here for what, almost a year? Has he been here for more than a year now, or no? Almost a year.
Yeah. Roughly a year.
If I'm him, would you not be itching to make like your first, I don't want to say splash hire, but like he has not hired anybody since.
Well, that's what I would. Yeah. And I mentioned that. I mentioned that a few weeks ago.
It's like he got here. I don't want to.
One of our episodes, like I feel like he wants to make his stamp on the program, and
yeah,
I talked about it would be high pressure to fire Beamer and go out and find a replacement for Beamer, and so this could be his first big splash, and it's a less scrutinized move. Because it's in men's basketball and not in football.
I don't think it would be scrutinized. I think the fan base wants the Paris era to be done. I think we're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we're not good at anything. We don't do anything well.
Yeah.
And it's it's a terrible product, and I feel bad saying it and shitting on the team, but it's just the truth. We're just not very good, and I don't see us getting any better, and we obviously need some juice in the program because we need fans more invested, and that's the way we're going to improve, and rolling out this product is not what's getting the fans excited. It's like we don't even have hope for we don't have any good. I mean, we don't really have any good young players. It's like, hey, like this guy's only a freshman.
Cam Scott's redshirting, but it's whatever. I don't think he. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, but like pretty much what we were just talking about with Alfred, how in the last 10, 15 years, like every SEC baseball team is legit now. That's kind of what it's like in basketball. And we're kind of bad at both right now. I mean, we're not kind of bad. We are bad at both right now. We're getting lapped by the field every season in these sports, while the Vanderbilts, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Auburn, Alabama, like every SEC school takes all three men's sports seriously now, you know?
Yeah.
Which, it just makes our lives tougher. And our lives are already tough to begin with as Gamecocks, you know?
Right. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with this team. But, it's looking bleak right now for basketball. But that was a fun episode. Ross's first episode on camera.
I've been on camera before. For our bye-week episode, I think I was on camera.
Or you now? Well, I don't know. I think this is your official debut, or what we're calling it. That was fun. Thank you to Alfred Ezman for jumping on and chatting with us. Appreciate everyone listening and watching. Please go over to our YouTube page, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Give us a follow.
All linked in the show notes, too. You don't even have to go look us up.
All linked in the show notes.
Just click the show notes, and the link to everything is there.
That's what a good producer does. That's why I'm paying the big bucks.
Yep, right there. We have some fans or I guess some subscribers, I would say, on YouTube that are serial commenters. They comment on everything. We welcome that. We applaud those serial commenters. Please comment on our YouTube videos. We love interacting with y'all. We love interacting with rival fans too, because when the Clemson video kind of made its rounds, we got a bunch of Clemson people up in the comments on Instagram and YouTube, and it was funny. And then even when Sterling Lucas got hired away, that one really, really took off.
Yeah,
it's just full of droppings. But we welcome it. We welcome everything. We want to hear from you guys. Yep. We want to hear everything y'all have to say about the show and about the Gamecocks.
Yes, sir.
And even comment your questions too. We might just answer them right here on the show.
That's right. That's what we're here to do. That's gonna be a wrap on this episode. Thank you, Alfred Ezman. Ross, thanks for filling in for Thomas. And we hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful day. As always, go Cox.
Go Cox.